still within the Thai tradition that the Dhamma should be taught by monks, not by lay people. That's why, because they don't have any monks who are willing to teach, who can teach, that they wind up with, things get really complicated in a moment, that they have been doing it with Ajahn Bhikkhu Buddhadasa speaking in Thai with Santikaro translating, but then they cut out Bhikkhu Buddhadasa because he's speaking in Thai, leaving only the translations with Santikaro. The Thai people are satisfied with that because it builds their particular needs of structure and stuff like that, and it satisfies all the rules, but it doesn't give people the best advantage of what could be done in that kind of retreat setting.
Yeah.
So the idea then would be basically what we've done together on the internet, probably not quite as deep as you and I have gone, but that it would be in that direction. You know, it's like deep submersion into the super mundane. Guaranteed to turn everybody a hue of purple.
All purple beings.
Wait a minute, now I'm red.
Oh no. What does it mean?
It means that I shift back and forth in the light, and the camera picks up those differences of shade.
Yeah.
You see, yeah, there was a point there where it was all purple all the time, but I don't see that particular position now.
Could I talk a little bit about some work experiences?
Sure.
So, you know, my job is, I don't know if you know this, it's staffing warehouses. So it's recruiting, but not corporate recruiting. It's thousands of people recruiting, like applicant tracking at, you know, those high numbers. And it's Amazon, right? And, you know, the whole fulfillment network. And it's like,
are they actually recruiting that many people, or are they just out window shopping?
No, they hire them. You know, it's for lower income.
Oh, but temporary work. Okay.
Temporary, but also permanent. You know, it's both, and it's the hourly demographic, so lower income community and such. And it's just like I'm doing all right. Like I'm in decent standing, but it's fucking stressful. And I
No, you're stressful.
I know all that, but and it's working. Like I'm doing it. I'm doing everything you taught me, but I think I've just come to the conclusion that the Eightfold Path, I was thinking of it as like a productivity tool, to be honest. That's my
Yes, I know. And in fact, we've been round and round, and in fact, if anything, it's a non-productivity tool.
I know. I'm like, I don't want to do this. I just want to make sure, as long as I have something figured out with the 4 requisites, as long as there's a plan in place, I'm all right. But, you know, and I know I think I'm just early in my career, so, but yeah. Beyond that, this is not worth it.
I know.
I have like, honestly, I have insomnia right now just because of the Sankaras, you know. It's like I'm running this training right now for 12 contractors who are coming on. There's all this onboarding and the massive other projects that are hours and hours of work being thrown at me simultaneously. And it's just like the brain records that stuff, and even if I'm breathing joy, it's just like getting stored in my, and all that stuff is playing back.
This is what seclusion is all about. Yeah. Even the Buddha told Ananda, which meant that way late into his life, he told Ananda that he will talk to kings and emissaries and guests who come to talk to him. He talks to them with the intention of dismissing them.
Yeah.
He does not give them a Dhamma talk in order to expound upon the Dhamma or get deep insight. He teaches them with the intention of dismissing them. Now that's profound. That the Buddha himself, number one, liked seclusion. Number two, he liked seclusion well enough that people who came to visit him, including royalty, was of no consequence or value to him. And so as he grew later in life, he would answer their questions, but he wouldn't dwell with them on it. Now, how can we put that into practice? One of the things that you can see is that, oh gosh, how to say this? People create their own reality. Those people who are the go-to guy is the go-to guy because when people go to him, he jumps. And he tries to help them. So now that you're beginning to think about an exit and thinking about looking at ways of coming out, one of the ways that you can help yourself quite a lot about that is by beginning to make that turn in your own mind so that you don't have to respond to other people's requests.
Yeah.
And gosh, right now, this is real deja vu because it was only a couple of days ago where our Pablo, our computer scientist in France, college professor, is doing exactly the same thing because it's September and it's school time.
Okay.
And so he's stressed out with his job, and what I'm saying to him is that you're the go-to guy because you have been stressed out when people come to you and you try to solve their problems. If you're not stressed out, then they'll just merely go to somebody else to get their problem solved.
Yeah.
Okay?
Jim,
you don't have to solve the world's problems, even when the world is tapping you on the shoulder and sending you emails.
I know. It's just my lane, basically. Just do my work. And one thing I don't want to have definitely don't want to have a grass is greener approach. I'd like to think I'm way past that just by being interested in the Dhamma. But one thing at Amazon, you can switch teams very easily, and that's a really good part of it. And it's not stigmatized at all to do that. So there's, I'm working on this, but there's a recruiting coordinator. That's a role where you just do the same thing all day long. And I wouldn't mind doing that because I've done that previously and I was just meditating the whole time, just breathing. And that allows me to just get into a flow, watch the body, watch the flow. I don't need my job to be interesting. So I'm kind of thinking about that. What do you think about that? Not that I'm telling you like.
Here's a question that I have for you, because I understand that some companies are resistant to newer high-tech stuff, but Amazon seems to be the kind of company that embraces that. So, what is the possibility of you not being in Seattle, that you can be anywhere and do your job on the internet? Is that possible?
I need to get promoted to do that, and that might take a couple years. So I need to pay my dues for now. I'm thinking I just lay low and pay my, just bide my time, and all the projects and all that is just all that's good stuff to get promoted later, but I need to learn the skills you were just saying, blocking it out.
Well, with joy. And one of the things, you can almost come to the point that you could make this a cliche is, you just laugh and say, oh, that's a really heavy problem. I wish you well with it, as if you don't even bite. Well, how are you going to handle that? Would be another way. Now, often when people talk through what they want, you see, here's the thing. We've talked about this before, about the okay corral. I'm okay, you're okay. And the position of I'm not okay, you're okay is the basic position that all humanity takes. That's the position of victim. And so one of the things that you can do is work with all of the victims who come to you to solve their problem for you. You can encourage them to solve their own problems by not being a victim. Encourage, you can do that. You know, this is, and you will be not only saving yourself a lot of time and effort, but you'll be actually helping people. To let them know that they can fix it and that they don't need your help to do that.
There's one other thing, which is that I have and I don't know what you would think of this, but I have a possibility in my mind, which is that because I'm in the same group that's in charge of the warehouses, what if there was like a mindfulness, if I could start a mindfulness program at all the warehouses, you know, that's a big idea, but that would be maybe pretty all right as a gateway.
Actually,
maybe not.
That's exactly what happened in Burma with U Ba Khin that got things rolling. That's exactly what happened in Burma in the 1950s when the British finally gave up and the Burmese took control. And that was one of the, I mean, that's where the 10-day course came from. And it was a government program, not, I mean, but large organization like that.
So that's a good sign then, or?
Yes, I absolutely approve of it.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit far off, you know, so for now.
Well, you know how far off it is? It's at your level of gung-ho-ness. When your gung-ho gets up, it will come.
Right now, I just want to, you know, get some sleep and just make it through, you know. I mean, I'm not like miserable, but it's just.
How about just enjoy the moment? Gosh, that's so hard to do. You're still very future-oriented. If you're going to be teaching mindfulness in the sense of being here now, you need to start thinking about it more.
I don't know. Things will. Yeah.
You maybe need to call me more often so that we can get this thing straightened out. And I'll tell you what, Noah, every student hears this stuff, even to the point of being blown away by it. But then if they get away from this is in fact why places have been established, organizations have been established, sitting groups have been established, and all of that, because even though we know how wonderful mindfulness training is, the world will grab us by the throats like it does every day and carries us off into the world. And so we try to bring the world into the Dhamma, which the Dhamma is in fact the opposite of the whole world. It's an escape from the world. It's a small escape, moment by moment, that over time grows larger and larger. By being satisfied with this moment now, you'll be more in the possibility of being established in the moment and more joyful, because it's a habit you're creating. But if you have the intention of being mindful, that don't work. You have the hope of being mindful. You have a plan for being mindful. You have to be mindful right now.
Yeah.
To remember.
Okay, so this is what I've noticed, though, and I'm just going to be honest with you. There's just a level of assignments and work volume that, I can be mindful, but I can't be mindful completely and handle all of it because it's just an unreasonable amount. So I need to change my job situation first, not and be mindful the entire time, but
actually, when you described that, the image that I had is that there you are, a warrior, perhaps with a shield, and that you're getting nothing but nonstop bombardment of arrows to be avoided. The slings and arrows of outrageous fortune. And here you're saying that you don't have time to be mindful because you're too busy being mindful of avoiding all the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune. And there I say, there you go. You see what I'm talking about? That's mindfulness. Dealing with all of this crap of your work and still being joyful in it. That's your job, is to be here now so that you can avoid those arrows. Here they come.
okay, yeah, and right, but then through being mindful, I learn, I observe things, and I gain some type of new pattern recognition, and then I may decide to change my situation. That's what I'm getting at.
Absolutely.
And I think
I can support you with that. Sure. I will support you with that too. But I'm also wanting to make you aware that you don't have to go anywhere to practice be here now.
Yeah, I agree.
There's no place to go. But it's a whole lot easier to deal with the present moment when you're in seclusion alone. The more you have to deal with the world, then the more you have to deal with that at that level rather than at the level of just sitting and doing nothing.
I just sent a message on the chat to you. We have a little group of groups now of different open, peer-led Dhamma discussion groups.
What did you post that point that I was talking to Mark about of watching the hands in the daily life?
Now, you sent me.
I sent it to you both as email and also as a thing on Skype.
You sent me the first. It's the jhana quote from the Buddha. Is that it? Or
no, that's the first jhana. That's sometime in the past. No, the most recent one. In fact, if you look in Skype, it's right there on the screen.
That I may not have. You may have just sent it to Mark.
Couple of days ago, I sent it to the group.
Okay.
And I know because I've discussed it with other students that it was sent to.
Okay. Let me.
I can tell you when exactly it was that it was sent, but I'll have to open the browser. Hang on a sec.
Neuroscience and the Buddha. Oh, I got it. Sent to Mark as an answer.
Yeah, that's the one.
Oh, okay. Yeah, got it. Okay. Now. Cool. All right, I will. I can post this.
Okay. Yeah, I think it would be worth posting.
I might just tag it on to the same thread we were doing before. It was on. Well, I don't know if it's Sudamaga. This is more of a discussion about mindfulness of body, though. So.
Yes.
I don't know. Yeah, for sure. And I'm letting it cool off, and then I can put the same, like your same opening topic, but on another forum, because I didn't put it on the Reddit one, I put it on the Dharma Overground, so.
Well, that would be good. This is something that I find quite, let us call it, new and refreshing, because as you know that the actual teachings of the Buddha have been intentionally kept secret, to not let it out. And yet Bhikkhu Buddhadasa, I think, how to say it, 25 years after his death, he still haunts a few minds here and there to open this package and let the world have a go at it.
Yeah.
So that this is something that is kind of new to the world. It's almost like back in the 1930s during the Depression, there were things like hobo villages, and some of them worked really well and others were quite violent.
Okay.
But those that worked really well, those were the ones that were kind of Dhamma, that people just sort of checked out of society. I quit. I'm out of it.
Yeah.
That the Bhikkhu Sangha is a way of checking out of the world, checking out of society. It's a support group that has, 6 million. There are no military in the world, no country's military. In fact, I think that you would have to go maybe 8 or 10 countries. The biggest countries in the world's militaries don't add up to the number of Buddhist monks there are on planet Earth. So it's a really huge organization. And what do they accomplish? When they're really doing it well, absolutely nothing.
What about, helping to get other people up in the Dhamma?
That's the whole point, is that that's the only really noble task, is the focus on the Dhamma. Now here's one of the things about the Sotapan is that the Sotapan only talks about Dhamma. There's nothing else worth talking about to the one who has the full fruit of Sotapan. That's the only thing he will do, is to talk about the Dhamma, because that's the only thing he's interested in. Also, we look at it from the perspective that the Dhamma, we talk about generosity and gratitude, and that the Dhamma is the absolute best gift that can be given. There is no other gift. Think about all the gifts that you've ever been given, including the Dhamma that I've given to you. Is that the actually best gift you've ever received?
Yeah, but it's dissimilar to other gifts, so it's like an unfair comparison.
Pardon?
It's not the same as other gifts. It's in a category of its own, so.
Right, and in fact, it just swamps all of the others. It's so valuable that it just dwarfs all the, including that bicycle I got for my 5th birthday.
The little red bicycle.
No, it was black. It was a Lone Ranger bicycle. And it had the little stuffed streamers that came out of the handlebars, and it had a little gun on it, and it was just, it was a Lone Ranger bicycle. Lone Ranger was big time in the early 50s. TV show. But even that bicycle, as wonderful as it was, doesn't match up to the gift of the Dhamma. So, looking at it from that perspective, that by being generous and by giving the Dhamma, I give joy. I really enjoy talking to the students about the Dhamma. So in that case, it's not work.
Yes.
What's work about it is to shut up. So the question is, where are we going to find the right audience? And is this the right time? The answer is, certainly this is the right time. And when I'm saying the right time, I'm talking about after 1880.
Yeah, it's not that hard. There's a lot of everyone wants to talk about their practice, and the structures aren't working like the West. I'm just riffing here on my own thoughts, but which is that the Western, it's like you say, like the spiritual celebrity structure.
Yeah, right. Spiritual materialism.
The one teacher, and he's the lineage holder, and he's, respect to the lineage, of course, but in terms of a reified hierarchy or this or that.
If there is an actual lineage.
Yeah.
And we respect the actual lineages. What I don't have much respect for is the Westerners who go over and spend a few short years and then come back and use that with their mixed bag, but they themselves haven't learned to live in the moment. And more importantly, Greg was pointing out that on one of the talks that Bhikkhu Buddhadasa gave with Sanjikaro's translation, he says very clearly and very specifically that the Paticcasamuppada is profound and it is deep, and that if a person does not understand the Paticcasamuppada correctly, they should not be teaching Dhamma.
Yeah.
Which narrows it down quite a bit, that you have to already be on the path. You actually have to understand the teaching of the Buddha well enough to where you've already got at least the path of the Sotapanna, because that's incorporated. You have to know the teachings of the Dhamma well. I don't think that any of the people in the West who are public figures and knowledgeable know the Paticcasamuppada in the sense of knowing how their mind works, knowing the way that consciousness leads to perception, which leads to internal realizations that lead to feelings, and those feelings, if they're ignorant, become grasping and clinging. I like it, therefore I want it, and I like it, therefore it's good. If teachers don't understand that whole sequence that leads to dukkha, then how can they be teaching dukkha, dukkha nirodha? If they don't really understand these Four Noble Truths, including the depth of the Paticcasamuppada, they shouldn't be teaching. This is what Bhikkhu Buddhadasa said, and Greg was so hit by that he actually made me listen to part of the talk.
Yeah. I had a thought recently, like, it popped in my mind, like humility is good or something, or it's like a form of protection or something like that. I don't know how to elaborate effectively on this, but also, and then,
yes, I can give you very real examples of that. Scientists, when the scientists are in a conference and it's time to give a paper, the scientists, every one of them, will spend most of their time saying how unqualified they are and how grateful they are for all the help that they've had, and that if you have any questions, you should ask this and that and the other professor and this mathematician, because they know more about this than I do. Mm-hmm. You know why the scientists do it like that? Because they don't like to be wrong. They don't like to get caught out. Humility is the position of just not wanting to be caught being wrong. And that's not a bad place to be in.
I'm going to write that one down.
Because one of the most important qualities is that we have to recognize that we're wrong all the time, or much of the time. And you see, people who are arrogant, they don't like that they're wrong. So they don't want to know that they're wrong. So they don't have to be humble.
Another thing, like I felt,
Does that answer your question on the
Yeah.
psychological level?
yeah, no, that I'm gonna take that as a bit of a koan,
Yeah.
probably.
Yeah. Humility. You need to investigate it.
Yes.
We have to know that we're capable of being wrong. That's what humility is all about. Is I don't want to screw up. Please, Lord, don't make me do it.
Another one was, I felt this sense of, there was a physical component of like opening in the chest area.
Yes,
I wanted
good.
to speak chakra language on that, I could, but I'll refrain. And with that, though, there's remained for a few weeks now. It's like I actually care more about other people a little bit, but also it's a little bit like in a way where I'd rather, as you're saying, it's like, what does it mean to communicate in Dhamma in the sense of guiding them to help themselves, or not, I don't know, helping them become sustainably happy in whatever form that takes.
Well, actually, that may be a little bit too much. That's probably going too far until you get in the habit of it. In the beginning, what you should look for instead is to convey to them that they are capable of performing. They are capable of actually making the change. Remember that sutta that I read to you, that no matter how obstructed the mind is, I can in fact clean the mind out so that I can see things as they really are. I can come to this present moment is basically what he's talking about. But that is so profound. Everybody who comes to you for help comes to you from the victim's position, and the victim's position is, I cannot fix my own problems. I need help from someone else to do it. And we start doing that as children. We rely upon our parents, and then we suck up to them, and then we begin to suck up to other people our whole lives.
Yeah.
So that's the thing that you need to be able to help people to understand is they can fix their own problem. They don't need you to fix it.
And I'm actually I'm always more curious about my friends and acquaintances who aren't interested in the Dhamma at all. And how does one communicate with those people, like, who aren't even interested in introspection, maybe,
I would say laugh with them and at them with every serious thing they say. When they get serious, that's your time to be mindful to say, aha, satipanya, time to become very lighthearted so that they won't be serious for very long. In other words, any time that you find somebody serious with an issue or whatever, your job is to cheer them up in that moment only by realizing they don't have a problem or that they can solve the problem easily. With Kitty and even Tam, because Tam sometimes will get mad, and I will tease her too. But Kitty, I'll say, aha, Kitty's angry, ha 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 ha. That's a little bit immature. I don't expect you to do that unless you're actually working with 4-year-olds. But the direct approach. Oh, you look really angry this time. Do I see a smile? If you ask somebody, do I see a smile? Within 20 seconds, you will. It might be 19 or more. But you can always talk them out of it. However, you have to understand that when people come to you seriously, they come to you seriously because they want you to be serious too. They want you to enjoy their mental space. because that gives them justification for being in that mental space. So if they're angry at the bank and they come to you and talk to you about the bank, they want you to be angry at the bank too.
What I'm getting from this, and I think I have to, only have a few more minutes because I do have to work today, but is like I'm actually the dramatic one at work, honestly. I started from, this level of reactivity, and I'm sure I know lots of things that, but the truth is I think a lot of other people are just better at repressing their shit than me. So I have a lot of, work to do on myself before I can, of course I can do this practice, at
but
any
this
time
is
with
work
others.
on you. Your working on them is working on you. It's more impact working on you than it is working on them.
Okay. And it's something about this kind of it's like disempowering storylines through lightheartedness by saying, or whatever. All the drama. This is like, I feel like what you do partially, right? All the drama.
All right.
Poke at it.
Exactly. Even in the Middle Ages and medieval courts, they had a court jester.
Mm-hmm.
And that one of his jobs, the court jester's jobs, was occasionally speaking truth to power and doing it in a funny way, in a humorous way, and everybody would gasp, but at least the jester survived his confronting the king. So it's that quality. We're talking about high drama. To be able to be in the jester's position during the positions of high drama. That takes mindfulness and courage.
Yes.
And so you really are working on yourself. Because why? Because whenever people come to you in a certain mental state, they are inviting you to join them in that same mental state. If they're angry at the bank, they want you to be angry at the bank. If they're angry at you, they want you to be angry back at them because that justifies their anger. If they come and be angry at you and you're laughing at them, then that nullifies and minimizes their rationale for being angry, as well as points out to them that their anger itself is unrealistic.
Makes sense.
And then they'll get angry at you because they can't stay angry at you. And they'll tell you so. And this takes mindfulness. It takes courage. And when I say mindfulness, I'm saying sati. And when I say sati, I mean to remember. You have to remember to do this. That's why a good practice is handy, to be in seclusion so that you can remember to put yourself back in a good mood. Then when you go out in the world, you can remember to put yourself back in a good mood, even when all of the slings and arrows of outrageous, let us call it office life, start to attack you. You can be really mindful and joyful.
Joyfully with the shield.
And non-helpful.
Joyful with the shield and not helpful.
And not helpful.
Right, just having the shield up and do my typing while and with a smile.
Yes, exactly. Okay, you got it. You got it.
All right, I've got it. All right.
Your people, your friends will actually enjoy that newness about you. It will be refreshing to them. It is also the practice of mudita, sympathetic joy. If they're all unhappy and everything, and they come up and you're completely joyful, you start to affect them. Mm-hmm. They will start to sympathetically vibrate with you because you're the one who's strong because you're well-intentioned. They're mindless. So their power comes from feeling, where your power comes from wisdom. Ta-da!
Yeah.
All you have to do is remember, because if you can remember to be wise, then you'll do the right thing every time. But you have to wake up. You have to be there for it. You have to be that Zen master that can knock that arrow out of the air before it hits you.
Mm-hmm. All right, I'm gonna go practice that now.
All right. And remember that you don't really have the skills yet to do this with aplomb. It's still a performance art for you. Still are prone to making mistakes, but the old master, this will be a play for him. All you need to do is keep remembering, and the old master is just the one who can remember to take the wise way out. The students are the ones who forget sometimes. Never mind, start again. It's amazing how the Buddha's teaching at such a simple level winds up being the only thing that we practice. Never mind, start again. Here the hindrances come, let's recognize them for what they are and throw them out, even if they are wearing a skirt.
Yeah, that too. I'm doing all right with that one.
No, I'm talking about the women in the office. I'm not talking about that skirt. Sorry, should have been more clear.
Yeah, got it.
The emails. Those emails are loaded.
Right. Loaded emails, but no problem.
But no problem, just loaded. Don't worry, be happy.
Will do.
Do you know Mad Magazine? That may be before your time. Alfred E. Newman?
Yeah, I know it.
Yeah. What, me worry? So become Alfred E. Newman of Amazon.com.
Okay.
In fact, get some memorabilia of him. Get an old Mad Magazine. You can probably find it on the internet and find a color printer and print out 4 or 5 Alfred E. Newmans and put them around your office. That'll give people the idea that you're making a change.
All right, I will call back soon to...
I would like that. Yes, okay.
All right, awesome. Have a good night.
Okay. Hope to see you